I call this meeting in order. This is the Finance and Government Operations Committee for the Albuquerque City Council. Four members are present with Councilor Penny excused tonight. I want to take this time to not really apologize, but own up to me wearing a Costco sweatshirt right now. It was a double dare that I would not do this on my last FGO meeting as the chair, so here I am in my Costco sweatshirt. I was at Costco today. I did get asked where the quinoa was, and I directed the person to the right area, just because I knew where it was. This will be a hybrid meeting where all participants will be in person, video, or audio conference. Members of the public have the opportunity to address the committee if they have signed up for public comment per the rules published on the agenda and on our website last Friday. We will call for the speakers when we get to the individual agenda item that you have signed up for. The ground rules for public comment: the comments will be addressed to the committee members only. Each participant has 2 minutes to present, and any disruptive conduct will result in removal from the meeting. With that being said, we will move on right now to agenda item A, which is EC 482, the 516 Arts Operation and Facility Lease Agreement from 2025 to 2031. I move for approval. Second by Councilor Baca. This EC is a proposed operating facility lease agreement between the City of Albuquerque and the 516 Arts, effective upon council approval and extending through January 1st of 2031. This agreement authorizes the 516 Arts, a New Mexico nonprofit contemporary art organization, to operate and manage the city-owned facility located at 508 First Street Northwest as an art center under a public-private partnership. The purpose of this agreement is to continue the city's partnership with 516 Arts to provide community access to the arts program, exhibitions, exhibits, education opportunities, while maintaining a downtown facility as part of the Albuquerque Arts District and broader revitalization efforts. Councilors, do you have any questions, comments for staff or the administration? I will then, and there's no amendments to it. We do have one public comment, actually 3 public comments. Mr. Garrett.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our first speaker is April Chalet, followed by Rebecca Black on Zoom.
Hello. Councilors, thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is April Chalet, the Executive Director of 516 Arts, and I'm here in support of EC 482. For nearly 2 decades in the heart of downtown, 516 Arts has served Albuquerque as a nonprofit contemporary art museum committed to empowerment of both youth and adults through the arts. We support New Mexico's creative community through exhibitions, programs, professional development, the Fulcrum Fund providing $60,000 every year directly to artists, our youth education programs that reach students across the city, and longstanding partnerships with arts organizations across Albuquerque and New Mexico. This lease enables a true and impactful public-private partnership. Approving this lease allows us to activate that space fully for the public benefit, advancing city priorities of downtown revitalization, community vibrancy, and economic development. We are also committed to ensuring that our current building on Central remains an active arts and culture asset. Because we care deeply about Albuquerque's vibrancy, it will not be left vacant. We're prepared to intentionally guide that site to its next chapter of arts and culture use. Our staff and board and community worked alongside city and state partners to advocate for more than $5 million in public investments that made the renovation of this facility possible. We're ready to carry that investment forward by operating an exceptional community-serving arts center that Albuquerque can be proud of. On our behalf, I respectfully ask for your recommendation of approval for EC 482 so that we can open the doors of this vital cultural resource and continue building a thriving Albuquerque. Thank you.
Rebecca Black, followed by Ciaran Lithgow.
Thank you, Chair and Councilors, for the opportunity to speak. I'm a board member of 516 Arts and have been for over 6 years. I've stayed on because of the importance the organization is to Albuquerque, to the region, and to myself. There's a lot of research on why arts matter in society. 516 in particular matters because it brings together people. Its exhibitions deal with relevant today's issues and has been able to bring an audience of young people of all ages, all histories, coming from different backgrounds together to gain different understandings and respect for different perspectives around today's issues. It also, as April mentioned, provides direct support to artists, engages them, local artists, in our exhibitions, and bringing kids in to learn about a way of expressing themselves besides verbally or physically, but through the arts. Also, 516 is an incredibly competent organization, sustainable, very able to expand into this space and use it very wisely. We have a terrific director who is very accountable, very responsible, very skilled, and a collaborator, and will be a great partner with the city. So the board is very committed to this, and we are very prepared to move into the new space and expand. Thank you very much for your time, and I sincerely hope that you will approve this lease agreement. Thank you.
Ciaran Lithgow.
Good evening, councilors. I'm a general member of 516 Arts. I am also on the board of Generation Elevate New Mexico, a coalition of residents who support projects that will champion smart and economically beneficial development projects throughout our city. The redevelopment of 516 Arts and this specific location is an excellent opportunity for investment in our community. And I think that the city couldn't be luckier to have a partner like 516 Arts. April and her team bring incredible contemporary art to our community. I've been there. It's wonderful. You guys should all go on a First Friday. And they highlight both local and national artists and bring vibrancy to our existing downtown fabric through their installations. I have also been involved in downtown Albuquerque's revitalization in many forms, including when I helped plan and fundraise $25 million for the downtown section of the Albuquerque Rail Trail. I'm a private citizen now, but I am still an ardent supporter of investment in any project that will help bring synergy to the rail trail and downtown. Arts and cultural institutions have been really vital to the success of many other downtown trails across the country, and so this isn't just a win for arts and culture, it's also an investment in downtown and in the future of the rail trail. I count many artists among my friends and family, and I often hear how they struggle to find adequate space for their practice. I'm particularly excited that 516 Arts plans to meet that demand through 8 new artist studios, providing artists with the opportunity to expand their work through residencies and collaboration. Growing and investing in an institution like 516 Arts can only strengthen our status as an artistic and cultural gem of our country, and it'll be a net benefit to our economy through tourism, education, and opportunities for artists. I hope the committee will recommend approval of this investment, and thank you for your time.
Mr. Chair, that concludes comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garrett. Councilors, any questions for the admin on this one? I will go since nobody's asking. Just kind of curious, I know that there's already being work conducted at this location and construction being done. What type of construction is occurring right now? Everybody's looking and pointing.
Council Chair, we have our deputy up who can speak on this.
Perfect. Thank you, Deputy Director, for being here tonight.
Councilor Champagne and councilors, yeah, it's basically a full remodel, putting in artist studios, gallery space. At this point, it's kind of just phase 1, eventually hoping to use the basement, maybe even the rooftop, but at this point, it's gallery space, performing arts space, multi-use art center.
Okay, I've seen the plans and I've seen construction on it. Who's paying for this construction if this lease agreement isn't already in place?
As far as the lease agreement itself?
Well, once they go into the lease agreement, they go in there and they adjust and construct things the way they'd like. But there's construction going on right now. And you said phase one of a renovation. Who's paying for this phase one if there is not a lease agreement in place right now?
So phase one is being, Council Champagne, councilors, phase one is being paid by State Capital Outlay, the nonprofits advocated for many years to this point, which they've gotten about a little over $5 million. In
They
state
put
capital.
$5 million into a city facility that they don't own or have a lease agreement with.
That this is the reason for the lease agreement. Yeah, we had long-standing relationship with 516, kind of been looking for a space for them for quite a while.
I understand that, and I have nothing against 516. I enjoy the arts, and it's a vital part of our society and our culture here, but we're doing construction on a city facility, taking in organization money on government land, and there's no lease agreement. So if this lease agreement fails, what happens to their money that they've put into this building?
Yeah, if this doesn't move forward, we're definitely stuck.
Is there someone who wants to give a better answer than that? Because this doesn't look really good. We're putting the cart before the horse on this, and I can't see the future, but if this doesn't, these people are out their money.
Council Chair, we have COO Pat Montoya. He can speak on behalf of that, but it is going to be renovated, and the city would eventually be able to use it. If this didn't go through, we would be able
And
to,
do we pay their money back that they've put into the construction?
that'll be up to,
Mr. Chairman, so capital outlay is appropriated to the city of Albuquerque, not to the organization. So they may have lobbied on our behalf, but actually the agreement that we have with the FAS and this LFC is, it's the city's money. So any of the improvements that we're making into that building stay in that building. So in the event that this lease were not to pass or that they decided not to go through with the lease, basically we own the building, we own the renovations, so we would have the ability to lease it to some other organization.
Okay. And are those renovations that are currently being done conforming to what 516 has in their plans for their part?
I'll take a stab at it, and then Diego can correct me if I'm incorrect, but I believe that they work closely with the organization to identify the studio space, the, what would be planned for the basement of that building, in addition to any other spaces, so I think that's correct.
That's
right?
correct.
Okay, so we're spending taxpayers' money to build a suit for a nonprofit right now, in hopes that we have a lease agreement, is that correct?
Mr. Chairman, that is correct.
Okay. Would it be beneficial to start the lease agreement before we did this money? Or do we have an idea that if this doesn't work out, that we can send it off to another arts or some other type of deal?
Mr. Chairman, that is absolutely correct. If in fact this lease agreement were to fall through the cracks, or they backed out of it for whatever reason, or we did, that space is valuable to any other organization that's out there. So the city has the ability to lease space to any organization that's out there since we own the building. There are other buildings in the city that we own that we lease out to nonprofits. So it would be the same situation.
I don't mean to be a stickler about this, but this has come up several times throughout the year that we've gone in and tried to do a lease agreement while, after the fact of spending money or going into an agreement or going into some sort of promise that city money is being spent on other stuff. And then we come to this council and say, hey, can we go into a lease agreement after we've spent X amount of dollars, after we've started a process? And it seems that is a reoccurring theme, that we're doing things and putting the cart before the horse on this sort of stuff. And I don't know if it's, again, government is a big thing, and I understand it's many moving parts, but it seems like we would want to go into a lease agreement before we do stuff like this. But again, you say that this facility and the $1 million or $5 million that we spent can be used and utilized if this agreement doesn't go through.
Correct.
Okay. Then just a next question, why was the not essential for municipal purposes? Can that be reversed, or why was it advised that it doesn't need to be reversed if we're going to be using this if it's still a city-owned building? Because several months ago we voted, or 2023, we voted to change the status of this to a non-essential municipal use, and so we could sell it, and then we decided not to sell it, and we don't need to reverse it back.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'm not aware of that. I mean, you're talking about the property itself.
The property itself was voted in the fall of 2023 to go from city municipal use to non-essential so that it can be sold. And then it was decided not to sell. And then this came up for the 516 Arts. And when asked, or it was advised, that it does not need to be reverted back out of non-essential into essential use. So why is that?
Well,
Is Keith?
Council Chair, so the ordinance does require the designation of not essential in order to sell, but there's no express requirement that we do anything to not sell. I mean, it just, however, this council there have been ECs before that basically let the council know that something's not going to be sold, or the council may even have voted on one, I think within the past year, where it did go down through council.
Is that what Coronado Park you're referring to? 'Cause
Yes, maybe it was the dog
We made that essential
park.
for the Creamland deal, and then it fell through, and we moved it back to AFR. So we did change it.
Yes, that was the one, yes.
so
Okay.
may I could address that as well, Council?
Yes, sir.
So I think that was, when we declared, not Coronado Park, but the dog park itself, non-essential, it was to be sold to Creamland. When Creamland backed out of that deal, I believe that Councilor Baca was instrumental in wanting to make sure that that property went back to the department. So it was legislation introduced by the councilor that reverted that, it was council-driven.
Okay. So we should probably think about that if we're going to keep this building, especially with the rail trail going through, because that'd be a prime piece of property to sell off once rail trail's put in.
Mr. Chairman, that's absolutely correct. That is one of the things that we had looked at with the rail trail, the value of the property itself.
Okay, councilors, any questions? Yes, Councilor Buck.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't have questions, just a quick statement. 516 Arts has been downtown, longstanding organization for, gosh, I don't even know at this point, over a decade probably. They've always done good work. Great community asset. Having them move into a space on the rail trail in a building that was empty for decades, I think it's not a think. It's a very positive thing. And they've done a good job, working to get capital outlay, getting it to the city. The fact that this is still city property. If things don't work out or they move to another space, we've got prime location, like you say. So, but this particular agreement, I think, is good with a fantastic organization that this council has given funding to every year as part of our budget acquisition for nonprofits. So, thank you. I urge your support.
Thank you, Councilor Buck. No, my set of questions isn't actually in any conjunction to what 516 Arts does or the program it is. It's the process, again, that the administration is going through in order to, and clarification of it, but some of these things that I would like to see maybe a little bit cleaned up in the meantime. Is it moved back to non-essential so that it isn't in 2031 when rail trail is up, we go, let's sell it, or 516 and the lease isn't agreed upon or renewed because the property's worth $3 million now, and we see and some people see the profit of selling it before, and then they're kicked out after they spent money in art and programs in there. So be something where we might need to change it. So I think there's a few things that need to be cleaned up in the meantime to kind of sew that up to make sure it's taken care of. So, councilors, any other questions, comments? All right, Madam Clerk.
Chair, you all can vote.
Oh, yeah, because Councilor Penny is, all right. All in favor of item A, 482, raise your hand and say aye. Aye. Passes unanimous. Move on to B. Item B, EC 537, the mayor's recommendation to award for groups benefits consultant for the Human Resources Department. Move for approval. Second by Councilor Lewis. All right. Let me find them in my notes. This EC requests approval for the recommendation to award for an RFP 2025668 group benefit consultant to McGriff, Sybils, and Williams. I gotta put my glasses on, I'm getting old. Required under the Public Purchase Ordinance, Section 5530. Council approval would authorize the Human Resources Department to enter into a new contract for the services with McGriff who has been under contract with these services since 2021 and holds the current contract. The RFP anticipates a 5-year contract with McGriff, subject to renewal each year. Councilors, any questions? God, I'm the only one. Okay, tonight. This is already, and this is probably for the administration, this is the group that's already been doing this since 2021?
Council Chair, yes, that's correct.
Okay. There was recently an employee satisfaction survey. How does this employee satisfaction survey kind of play into this new agreement?
Council Chair, we have our Director of Human Resources here, Ian Stokes.
Good evening, Director.
Evening, Councilor Champion. Currently, McGriff is administering the benefit survey. They will continue doing so through its completion.
Okay, and so it hasn't been completed. I was my understanding it has.
We had originally projected it to end at the end of November.
Okay. Maybe that's what it is.
At that time, we only had a little over 1,000 people that had responded. So we've extended the completion deadline by 2 weeks to see if we can get a little bigger survey pool.
And the survey is for all city employees, which.
That is correct.
And which are currently, I think we have 7,100 or 7,200?
6,600.
6,600, okay. So only 1,000, a sixth of it, huh? What improvements has this group done since 2021 since they've been in contract since 2021? What improvements have they implemented in our benefits?
Chairman Champagne, they've been instrumental in helping us monitor our self-insured program. So last fiscal year, they helped us see approximately an 11% savings in the cost of our insurance programs. I mean, that's the most direct example I can give you.
Director, has there been other employee satisfaction surveys prior to this one? The one that's currently going on, has there been any other previous?
Chairman Champagne, there are a number of satisfaction or engagement surveys that we have run. Some are through other vendors like the Gallup surveying platform. We produced and ran our own survey about dental benefits particularly, but the current survey is the only one that I know of that McGriff has managed for us.
Okay, and Director, what is the hopes of the survey?
Chairman Champagne, I believe the hope of the survey is to inform on the general employee satisfaction with our current offerings of health insurance benefits. Since in the recent history, we went from offering a single provider through Presbyterian Health Plan to 2, one through United Healthcare and the other through Blue Cross Blue Shield.
So with the results of those surveys, would you suspect that there'd be major changes or hope that there are, or think that there would based on the results and actually?
It is possible. I don't really know what to expect other than to get a better understanding of how satisfied our employees are with the offerings.
Okay. Councilors, any questions for the Director at Admin? Thank you, Director. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Those in favor of EC of B, EC 25537, say aye. Raise your hand. Yes. Yes? Those against?
Yes.
Nope. Okay. 4-0. Move on to C. C, this is by request for Councilor Pena, is R202, approving the Transit Department's 2025 updated Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan. Move for a due pass. Second by Councilor Baca. This resolution approves the Transit Department 2024 updated Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan per the requirement by the Federal Transit Administration under 49 U.S.C. This requires certain operators of the public transportation system that are recipients or subrecipients of the FTA grant funds to develop safety plans that include the processes and procedures necessary for implementing safety management systems, or SMS. The purpose of the FTA safety plan is to be proactive, managing safety risks through a data-driven process to reduce injuries, fatalities for passengers and employees. Councilors, any questions? Seeing none? All those in favor of 202, raise your hand and say aye. Aye. Passes 4-0. Moving on to D, 205. And I believe this is Councilor Lewis's. I waited till you got up. That's what I did. Yeah, you did.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Move R-25-209. This is amending the City of Albuquerque Component Capital Implementation Program to include a roadway facilities project, McMahon Boulevard, between Cayenta Street and Universe Boulevard Northwest. Just a procedure we need to do to be able to get this project going. Thank you. I move approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Sanchez. Any questions? All right. Okay, seeing no questions, all those in favor of 205, raise your hand, say aye.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Sorry for the interruption. Councilor Lewis just moved 209 for the CCIP, the Capital Component Implementation Program.
So we skipped one, so I just moved 205. I'm sorry, I moved 209. We skipped 205, but
Yes, we need to
we
move
can,
to,
we can
yes,
go
we're
back
on
to,
205.
we are on 209, but
No,
we can
sir.
go back to 205 later if you'd like.
Mr. Chair, there are two amendments to 209, so if we
Yeah, that's
wanted
right.
to,
I did say 205, correct?
yes, sir,
Okay.
Mr. Chair, but Councilor Lewis,
Said 209. Okay,
yes.
let's go to D, so we don't have to do the amendments of 9.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
we moved 209, so
and there was a
so
second.
if we could deal with
Okay, then we do
209
have to do the
first, then we can go
amendments.
back to
Okay.
205 if you'd like. And we got a couple amendments.
We do have amendments, okay.
Amendment number 1, Mr. Chair, is delete attachment 1 to this resolution, replace it with the attached amendment 1. Just provides a cost estimate for constructing the segment of McMahon that is added to the component capital program through this resolution. After the introduction of this resolution, the city engineer's office adjusted the cost estimated to include, in addition to the cost expense, engineering, permitting, construction management, and materials testing costs. This new attachment includes the adjusted cost estimate. Again, a move approval of amendment 1.
Second by Councilor Baca. Any questions on amendment number 1? Seeing none, all those in favor of amendment number 1, raise your hand and say aye. Yes. Yes.
Mr. Chair, amendment number 2 to R-25-209. This is starting on page 3, lines 9 and 10, amend the following sentence. The engineering study estimated the project cost at, it just changes that to the new updated amendment that we just did. On page 3, lines 23 and 24, amend the following cost estimate, just makes those corrections. Move approval.
Need a second? Second by Councilor Sanchez. Questions? All those in favor, raise your hand, say yes. Yes, 4-0. All right, we're back on the bill as amended. Any
And Mr. Chair,
questions?
just move 209 as amended.
All those in favor of 209, signify by raising your hand, say yes.
Yes.
4-0. Okay. Now we are back to item D, which is 205. Councilor Lewis, we're on 205.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm doing this for
Councilor Grant.
for Councilor Grout here. This is R-25-209, requiring the Albuquerque Fire and Rescue
No,
Department.
205.
205, that's what I said. Thank you, Mr. Chair. R-205, requiring the Albuquerque Fire and Rescue Department, the Albuquerque Police Department, and the Albuquerque Community Safety Department to provide quarterly operations reports. I move it to pass.
Second by Councilor Baca. Any questions or comments? Yes, Mr. Anderson.
Council Chair, as we move this amendment moves forward, we'd just like to make it known on the record that a lot of this information is already available online and what's being asked for. So doing a quarterly report, it can already be obtained by council staff.
Mr. Chair,
Counselor Lewis.
I know, again, this is Counselor Grout's bill, but I believe there's a reason why she did this, because maybe those reports aren't being sent to us in the way that they have been before, and I understand that these reports have not been done. So I guess a question to our staff, is that, what's the case?
Mr. Hertz?
Yeah, Council, sorry, Committee Chair, Councilor Lewis. I think that's a good question because the sponsor's intent behind this bill was more than just the reporting of data, but also some preliminary analysis. You know, we could compare this also to the reports that come from transit in regards to their transit security reports to us, because those, we are getting all the data whenever the departments are reporting that, but there is not any preliminary analysis on those reports. It's just the reporting of the data. And so in addition to the reporting of the data, this is also calling for some additional analysis to be done. There's also a request for updates on any technological or systems-based improvements in the way we compile, analyze, and report that data back to council. So even though I don't think council staff was aware, though, that a lot of this data was available online, I don't think we were. And so, but like I say, I think there's additional analysis that the bill calls for that we're currently not receiving.
So, Mr. Chair, I'd recommend, just move this to the full council. I mean, it'll give the time for the administration to look at any new things on these reports. I think it makes a lot of sense. We just got a transit report that just says our buses are still dangerous. I mean, without a whole lot of information and analysis on it, I think some of these aspects of these reports, I think, would be good, especially those helping, make decisions on behalf of these, whether it be safety measures and then all the things related to these three agencies. Well, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Councilor Lewis. All right, any other further questions? All right, those in favor of R25205, raise your hand and say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Passes on a 4-0. Move on to item F, R25211. R25211, amending, Councilor Baca.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Moving this for Councilor Feeblecorn. R211, amending the adopted capital implementation program of the City of Albuquerque by supplementing current operating grants appropriations and approving new projects. I move to pass.
Moved and seconded by Councilor Lewis. Thank you, Councilor Lewis. Questions, comments? Seeing none.
I urge your support.
Perfect. All those in favor of 211, raise your hand and say yes. Yes, that passes. Move on to G, R25212.
Thank you,
Councilor Baca.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is by request, R212, relating to the approval of a redevelopment tax abatement for the 4th and La Plata multifamily residential development project developed by 4th and La Plata, Inc. I move to pass.
Move for a due pass and seconded by Councilor Lewis. Any questions?
We have one amendment, Mr. Chair.
And we do have an amendment. All right. Councilor Baca.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is Amendment A. This is a technical amendment. Corrects the resolution to include the required severability language and to remove the effective date publication language not applicable to resolutions. These changes ensure consistency with standard legislative formatting and procedural requirements. I move to pass.
I have a due pass. Do I have a second? I'll second it. Any questions? All those in favor of amendment number 1, raise your hand and say yes. Yes. Passes 4-0. Back on the amended bill. I just have one question, if nobody else has any more. And this is probably for the administration on this. how does this work when construction at this location has already been started?
Committee Chair, we have Terry Bruner here to answer any questions.
Oh, Mr. Bruner.
Mr. Chairman, councilors, technically, we don't sign the lease, and we don't sign the lease until after construction has been completed.
Okay, so they can start.
They can get started.
And go on forth. It was my understanding in tax abatement, we have to own the land. We have to own the property in order to abate those taxes.
Yes.
So that kind of presents a conundrum to me. If they're gonna build the property and do the 24, how does it meet all the requirements that are asked of the abatement if they've already built it and then go into the abatement? So how do they cover all those? Because I know there's several things that the commission recommended. So how do we ensure that they can follow those when?
Mr. Chairman, councilors, I'm going to have our project manager on this, China Osborne, answer that question.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council Chair. And the applicant submitted an application to the building department that had all of the information in terms of the landscaping and community benefit requirements that were actually reviewed before everything went to the Albuquerque Development Commission. So we're expecting full compliance with all of the conditions of approval.
So the lack of a dog park and stuff that was needed and all that is not going to be, are they going to adjust or?
Yes,
And if they-
Council. Yes, as did Council Chair. They have already submitted a revised landscaping plan that includes that.
The dog run.
Dog waste station,
Okay.
yes.
And as far as like I think they had to put up a sign saying what it was. And I know they laid the foundation. They've already laid concrete and stuff, but I don't remember seeing one of the recommendations that they had to, a promotional banner designed by the MRA. So are they doing that already too, even though they don't required to because?
Council Chair, no, they have not put that sign up yet because they
Okay.
haven't approved the tax abatement, but once it's approved, then we will ask them to
But
put
the
up that
construction will be
promotional banner.
done, so why put the banner up during the construction?
Council Chair, it should, actually, they just started construction, so it should still take quite a few more months before they finish.
Oh, they've laid the
construction.
foundation, ma'am. They've put in plumbing, foundation, did dirt work. I mean, this is a good month into it. It's right down on 4th Street. I drive by it daily. So it's kind of odd that the commission recommends all these things during construction, the entire construction project, but yet some of them aren't done. And yet, here we are doing and going into saying that it doesn't need to be done until after the build.
Council Chair, once the lease is signed, then they will be required to meet all of those requirements.
So again, here we are putting the cart before the horse and asking for a lease agreement after something has already started. There's recommendations by the commission saying that these need to be done, and we're a month into contract or we're a month into project, laying foundation, putting in concrete, plumbing, and now we're coming and say, hey, let's get them to do these things so they can get a tax abatement for 24 market rate apartments?
Council Chair, the tax abatement application process does allow different timing for different parts of the project.
Okay. Okay, that's all the questions I have. Thank you, guys. Anybody else have any questions? No more questions? All those in favor of R212, raise your hand and say yes. Yes. Those not in favor, say no. No. I believe that's a 2-2 and it dies. Does not pass. That's the last one on the agenda, so there being no more further business, I would like to thank you guys for allowing me to be the chair of FGO for the past year. I had a lot of fun and learned a bunch, so thank you for the help. Your last, and Councilor Sanchez's last FGO meeting as well, so thank you for everything this year and throughout your 4 years. So.
Thank you, appreciate it.
This meeting is adjourned.